Hello learners, welcome back to Introduction to Statistical Thinking. Our topic today will be scale of measurement. So the lesson outline are we are going to discuss scale of measurement, we are going to discuss the different branches of statistics, we'll discuss and treat examples of the nominal scale, the ordinal scale, the interval scale, the ratio scale, and we'll also discuss the scale of measurement and measure of central tendency. So what are the different branches of statistics? We'll start by discussing what data is. Data can be qualitative or quantitative in nature. So a qualitative data is observed and recorded. For example, gender, like whether you are a male or a female, while a quantitative data is a type of data that arise as a result of numerical estimation or measurement, like weight of a person or height of a person. So both qualitative and quantitative, they both have their different scale of measurement. In the other hand, each level of measurement scale, they have specific properties that determine the various use of statistical analysis or the approach we take. So the four types are the nominal, the ordinal, the interval, and the ratio. So what is the nominal scale? It is usually used for identification purposes, known as qualitative or categorical variable scale for labeling variables into distinct classification. So the only statistical analysis for a nominal scale is frequency and percentage. It can also be analyzed graphically using a bar chart or a pie chart. So the commonest measure of central tendency for nominal variable is the mode. So example are, what is your gender? Are you a male or a female, or you prefer not to say? Or you'll have seen something like, which country did you come from? Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, or Kenya? Or what is your currency? Like ETB for Ethiopia, KES for Kenya, that's Kenya shilling. And or other examples, they could include the ethnicity, your religion, or the kind of language that you speak. So when a nominal variable have two categories or levels, we call it binary variables. But if it have more, we call it multi-variables. So what are ordinal scale? They allow you to rank orders like the first, second, third, or fourth, by which data can be sorted, but still does not allow for relative degree of difference between them. So for ordinal could represent the order. The attributes on an ordinal scale are usually arranged in ascending or descending order. So ordinal data, they are usually known as qualitative or categorical data. So the commonest measure of central tendency for ordinal scale data is median, while the mode is also allowed. So some examples of ordinal data are ranking of students' performance in CSC3, like the first, second, third, or fourth. Or how will you rate this lecture or my video? You could say it's excellent, very good, good, or bad, or even poor. So, or you could also assess the degree of agreement, like you agree totally, agree, just agree, neutral, you disagree, or you totally disagree. So these are examples. Then we move on to interval scale. The interval scale is a quantitative measurement scale in which the differences between two variables is meaningful. So the interval scale indicates the distance between two entities. So the classical example of interval scale is Celsius temperature, because the difference between each value is the same. So for example, now the difference between 70 and 60 degrees is the measurable 10 degrees, as the difference between 90 and 80 degrees. So for the interval scale, the interval type allows for the degree of differences between items, but no ratio between them. So we can use mode, media, and arithmetic mean as a measure of central tendency in the interval scale, while range and standard deviation can also be used as measure of dispersion. The ratio scale. This is the fourth level of measurement scale, and it is quantitative. It is an extension of the interval scale which possesses a meaningful absolute zero value. Because of this, it doesn't have any negative value. So the ratio scale is compatible with all statistical analysis methods like measure of central tendency and measure of dispersion. So some example of this ratio scale could include the height, the age, the weight, and length. So this is the pictorial summary of what I've been talking about so far. Like we have the nominal that use identity as an example. For the ordinal, you could use the magnitude, or for interval, you could have an equal interval measure between two different values, or a ratio which could be a minimum of 0. The scale of measurements versus measure of central tendency for all these four classes. Now for nominal, for ordinal, interval, and for ratio. So the sequence of variable is established for ratio. Their mode, we use the median, we also use the mean. And we also try to find the differences between the variables. We can also evaluate or assess that, or we could add or subtract the variables. We could multiply or divide the variables, or we could even have the absolute 0 of the variable. While this is not possible for nominal variable except for the mode assessment. But for the ordinal, you can only order the sequence of the variables, and we can establish that fact. We could assess them using the mode and the media, while others offers are not possible. So summarily, in this lesson now, we have explored the scale of measurement and discussed the different branches of statistics. We have also discussed and treated examples of the nominal scale, ordinal, interval, and the ratio scale. We have also discussed and compared the scale of measurement and measure of central tendency for these 4 examples. So in the next video, you will learn about correlation analysis. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. See you in the next lesson. Bye.